Hola, I'm Antonio and I'm making a stealth game called Undetected. And welcome back to my devlog. Today we're going to talk about AI and how I'm making the stealth systems in my game. So let's start with planning. To plan the stealth in my game, first I looked at the pillars of my game, which are information transparency, which means that the player, we're not hiding information from them on purpose. You know, the player has access to where the enemies are, what they're doing, what the shape of the level is, right? I think that's very important for a stealth game. The second one is intentions, not execution. So I don't care if the player is good with the controller and timing and all that. I don't care. If the player has the time to think about it, they should be able to accomplish it. And the last one is low punishment. If the player gets caught, they don't get punished. We have good checkpoints. They have a way to escape and hide again and all that. With that in mind, I set out to create the guards in the game. So, in my opinion, guards are the soul of a stealth game. If you can kill or disable the guards, to me, it's a little bit like, Mario. If Mario could just block the holes or move the platforms and just walks in a straight line, it's, the guards are the point of the game. And so, for Undetected, I decided you cannot kill them, you cannot tranquilize them, so it doesn't become like a sniper sort of game. You still have to sneak. With that, I created a system that is a non-lethal game, but with many options for the player, and the guards had to fit that. While this game is in the look and feel of Metal Gear Solid, the stealth gameplay is more like Origami or Mark of the Ninja. So you have this sort of binary stealth where you're visible or you're hidden, and you communicate that to the player at all times. So they can hide, they can scope the area, look at the guard patterns, and then plan their move and then do it. That's how it fits with my pillars. And so what I did is I created a state machine using the behavior trees in Unreal Engine. And so first let's start with, let me show you how the guards work in the game. First of all, their patrol behavior, right? So I have an array of patrol paths, which are points in the level, and the guard just cycles through them. If they're in the patrol behavior, let me show you. Here's the patrol behavior. It's the state. They'll basically find a patrol point, move to it, rotate to face the side. There's a chance, a low chance they might play a sound. I told you I want the guards to feel alive, so I gave them these lines where they complain about work or they hate their helmet.
I hate this helmet.
If they look at each other, they might say hi, etc. Right? They wait a little time. I choose how much they wait on each patrol time, and then when it reaches a patrol point, it just goes back to it. So that's the patrol behavior. After that, I took the AI perception system in Unreal. Honestly, it's better than just making a whole perception system on your own. It already has vision and touch and noise and sound, and you can get those senses and decide what happens, right? So what I did is made this function called handle senses, right? So when any type of sense, in this case sight or hearing, comes in, this sort of branching system will decide what to do with it, right? So for example, I get a new sense and it's sight, and so we go and okay, so did we see that the thing we sensed is the player character? Let's say it wasn't, right? Nope, it's not. Okay, what you sensed is a guard. Okay, yeah, it's a guard. Okay, are you on alert? No. Okay, you're not on alert. Are you walking? Yes. So say hi.
Hey.
Or is the guard that you saw knocked out? Okay, then ask are you okay?
Friendly down.
That's one example. Another example. Oh, you heard something.
Who's there?
Can you see the player? No. Okay, so then I send the information to the behavior tree, and then it goes, oh, I heard something, stop, get the question mark on the head, say hey, what was that, and move to that location, right? The behavior tree is not working as a normal behavior tree though. It's working as a state machine. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting the alert state. So if it's normal and I'm telling it to investigate, it does that. If it's normal, I'm telling it not to investigate, it does the patrols. If I just change the state to alert, oh, you're in alert, chase and shoot. Oh, you're in caution, right? Alert state is caution, just do your caution thing when you just walk around and try to find the player. And all that I'm switching through this senses sort of behavior, right? So let's say they did see the player. It comes here. Which alert state are you in? I'm in caution. Then, you set the state to alert and tell all the other actors who implement the alert interface, tell them, hey, we're on alert. The whole thing goes on alert. And so that's how I handle the senses and feed them into this sort of state machine / behavior tree that I built. And so it turns into very predictable behaviors, but it also adds that spice of like, okay, what you sensed is not the player. Let's do something interesting. Let's say a line, or let's say hi to the friend, or let's try to help the guy who's fallen, like who's been hit, but you can't see the player, so you pick him up, that kind of thing. Okay, so now we have the guards and their systems and how they work. So now we move to how that merges with the player and the visibility system that I was telling you about. And so the player can be visible or not visible. You'll notice here that the visibility is not a Boolean, it's a 1 or 0. Before, when I started, I wanted it to be gradual. I want it to be like, maybe they can see you a little bit and they'll be like, who's there, and investigate, or I have like this sort of gradual sort of Splinter Cell visibility. But I realized that it's too much scope for me, and it didn't fit my pillars of information clarity and all that. And so that's still left over, but I only do 1 and 0, and basically that's the same. The player can be visible or not. And so what I do with the player visibility is if they are under artificial light, they're visible. If they're in the dark or just natural light from the moon, for example, they're not visible. This is similar to Origami or Mark of the Ninja, and the player starts learning where they're visible and where they're not. I also show it to them in 2 ways. On the top right, there's a little eye. As you can see, it turns from visible to not visible, telling the player if they are, but also the colors on the player character. If he's in the dark, he'll be black and white. If he's in the light, he'll be colored. And so that way, the player starts doing this sort of dance of moving in and out of light, and they can feel safe without having to guess, am I visible or not? I made these sort of grass areas also, right? So the player can hide in the light by being in the grass. That's super standard. You've seen that in like so many games, so don't have to explain it very much. And the last one is noise. I also wanted noise to be, the classic, you walk on a puddle and makes noise and it'll be dangerous.
Something's going on.
But also I thought, hey, let's make noise a tool. So you can knock on walls as usual, but you can also shoot the wall, for example. I'll shoot anything, and when the bullet hits the wall, the guards will hear it and they'll be investigating.
I heard something.
And the other one is I gave the player tools for hiding and tools for escaping. So in your weapons, since it's non-lethal, I still wanted the player to have some weapons, but instead of killing the guards, you might distract them, you might hide and smoke. Well, in this case, it's a stink bomb, so you get stinky.
Something's going on. I'm gonna be sick.
And you get a flash sort of charge on your gun, so you can like flash a bunch of enemies that have seen you and then just run. And so I gave the player these tools and to stick to my pillars. Basically, it's a stealth game that is almost pure stealth, right? Almost. There's still action, obviously, and you can beat people up and everything, but at the end of the day, you have to hide. And that's what I like in these games. When you're a solo developer, you have to take some game that you like, in this case, you know, Metal Gear series, for example, and just dilute it to the core part that you like. You can't make a game that a team of hundreds of people made, so you have to take the best part of it, or at least the one you think is the best part of it, and just make that, you know. And so in this case, I said, yeah, I want to make a Metal Gear style game, but I also love Mark of the Ninja. I also like Origami. I like that idea of, okay, you have to hide. This is a stealth game, you have to hide, but at the same time, it's not super punishing. You know, if you get caught, boom, you start at the beginning of that room, not at the beginning of a long ass level. And yeah, that's it. Those are the stealth systems and the AI in Undetected. I hope you enjoyed this video. Join our Discord, link in the description. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description. And thanks for watching. See you next time.